Also on the pre-show, we had Nick Aldis come out. He announced that Colt Cabana, I don't know if I talked about this last week here on the show. I'm pretty sure I did. That Nick Aldis' original partner for the pay-per-view, Colt Cabana, he got injured. He couldn't compete. So he was supposed to bring out his new partner. Out came James Storm, who he thought he was the new partner for Nick Aldis. Little did he know it was not the Cowboy James Storm. Rather, it was Maryland's own Eli Drake. And I popped big for that one. I was not expecting Eli Drake. Now that I think about it, I think it was last week here on the show. Not that I predicted Eli Drake, but I think they had mentioned at that point that whoever was going to team with Aldis had officially announced that they were the newest member of the NWA roster. So Eli Drake is officially a part of the NWA, which is really, really cool. And coming off his Impact departure back in April, there were a lot of questions regarding where he was going to go, whether it was back to WWE, whether it was AEW. I'm sure AEW did have some interest in him. I actually talked to Nick Aldis about this. Again, cheap plug, the interview is going to be up on Daily DDT within the next couple of days, and the audio version will be up on WrestleRant Radio within the next 2 weeks. But he had said, I talked about Eli Drake and how he teamed with Nick Aldis on this show. How did the process begin to get Eli Drake in NWA? Nick Aldis actually took credit for bringing in Eli Drake, said he was the one who contacted Eli about coming to the NWA. He thought he'd be a fantastic fit, and I think he is too. But he had mentioned in that interview when I talked to Nick Aldis that he had mentioned that Eli actually had an offer from one of the two companies that I brought up when I, prefaced the question. I don't know if it was WWE or AEW, but he made it sound, he confirmed that it was one of the two. I would assume that it was AEW, but it could very well have been WWE. Even Eli Drake has admitted that in other interviews, like Chris Van Vliet and people like that he had offers to go back to WWE even after he left. Eli Drake got fired from WWE's developmental territory, NXT, 5 years ago. Went to Impact almost immediately after and thrived. I thought Impact, for all their faults, was a great home for Eli Drake. Gave him a lot of opportunities to improve, get better, and just stand out. And once he went heel, and I thought he was a great asset to that company for as long as he was there for. But even Eli Drake has mentioned before in other interviews that even after he left WWE, they were still calling him to bring him back in. Probably after Matt Bloom left. Not Matt Bloom. Why am I burying Tensai here? I meant to say, what's his name? The guy from fucking Hugh Morris. You know what I'm talking about. Why is his name escaping me right now? The guy that was on the 2011 season of Tough Enough. God, I don't remember his name, but Hugh Morris. We'll just call him Hugh Morris. After he left, or got fired rather, from WWE, he was kind of forced to resign after all the bad publicity that came out about him. They came calling back to I wanted to say Ethan Carter III, Eli Drake. I don't know why it's so hard for me to say Eli Drake today. But they came calling back saying, hey, we want you back. And he said no, just because Impact had a better schedule, better money at that time. So that would not surprise me if WWE wanted him back. And NXT, WWE. They want anyone who is anyone. They want everyone who is anyone right now. Anyone who is a name, they want them. So the other companies can't have them. Now, NWA really isn't much of a threat to WWE in 2019. But NWA snagging Eli Drake over AEW was a big move. And I don't know what the money's like. It doesn't really matter, honestly, to me, you, or anyone, except for him. I think it's a great fit. Very happy to see Eli Drake in the NWA. Still using his Impact theme song, too, which I guess belongs to him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to use it. But I thought that was cool. So, yeah, he cut a great promo here about how he had turned the entire NWA Ring of Honor pay-per-view on its head. And how he got everyone talking about Eli Drake. And the fact that he debuted in his native Maryland, I thought was even cooler. So, great stuff here. He and he and Nick Aldis went on to team against the Briscoe brothers on this same show. It went to a double countout. It was a good match, though. I enjoyed it. But I am looking forward to seeing what's next for Eli Drake in the NWA. And he could quite possibly have the NWA's World Heavyweight Championship in his sights before long.